Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing about properties of pure substances. So let's begin with learning what pure substance is. A substance that has a fixed chemical composition throughout is called a pure substance. Water, nitrogen, helium and carbon dioxide, for example, are all pure substances. A pure substance does not have to be a single chemical element or compound. However, a mixture of various chemical elements or compound also qualifies as a pure substance as long as the mixture is homogeneous. Air, for example, is a mixture of several gases, but it is considered to be a pure substance because it has a uniform chemical composition. However, a mixture of oil and water is not a pure substance because oil collects on the top of the water and it forms two chemically dissimilar regions. Similarly, a mixture of two or more phases of a pure substance is still a pure substance as long as the chemical composition of all the phases is the same. For example, a mixture of ice and liquid water and water vapor is considered as a pure substance because all these phases have the same chemical composition throughout. As you can see here in this GIF, ice, water vapor and liquid water coexist simultaneously in equilibrium. So this system is an example of a pure substance. However, a mixture of liquid air and gaseous air is not a pure substance because the composition of liquid air is different from the composition of gaseous air. Here you can see in the pie chart that the composition of gaseous air is not the same as the composition of liquefied air. This is due to the fact that different components in the air condense at different temperatures at a specified pressure. So now that we have a clear understanding of what a pure substance is, we can go further. Our main intention is to study the PVT characteristics of pure substance. Hence, it is important for us to study about the phase change process of pure substance. So in order to study that, let us first consider a piston cylinder device containing liquid water at 20 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure. So here in the schematic diagram, you can see that water is stored in this cylinder with a piston on top of it. And heat is supplied at constant rate and constant pressure of 1 atmospheric pressure is maintained. So under these conditions, this liquid water is known as subcooled liquid or compressed liquid. As the temperature rises, the liquid in the cylinder expands slightly and the specific volume increases. In order to accommodate the change in volume, the piston moves up slightly and the temperature rises to 30 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius and so on. And as the more heat is transferred, the temperature rises until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. At this point, water is still a liquid, but any further heat addition will cause some of the liquid to vaporize. So that is, a phase change process from liquid to vapor is about to take place. So a liquid that is about to vaporize is called a saturated liquid. So in that schematic diagram which we see is a saturated liquid state. So now coming to the state 3. On further heating, a phase change process begins from liquid to vapor. Once the boiling starts, the temperature stops rising until the liquid is completely vaporized. That is, the temperature will remain constant during the entire phase change process if the pressure is held constant. This can be easily verified by placing a thermometer into boiling pure water on top of a stove. So in between the vaporization, the cylinder contains a certain amount of both liquid water and water vapor. As you can see in the schematic diagram, the dots refer to the water vapor and the dashes refer to the liquid water. So this mixture of saturated vapor and saturated liquid is called a saturated mixture. So now coming to the state 4. As you saw in the previous slide, that the cylinder contains both liquid water and water vapor, and midway through the evaporation process, the cylinder contains equal amount of liquid and vapor. As the heat transfer continues, the vaporization continues until the last drop is vaporized. At this point, the entire cylinder is filled with vapor, and any heat loss from this piston cylinder system will lead to the condensation into liquid phase. So this system, that is the vapor that is about to condense, is called a saturated vapor. So now the phase change process is completed and we are back to a single phase region, that is water vapor. And further transfer of heat results in increase in both the temperature and the specific volume. At state 5, the temperature of the vapor, let's say 300 degrees Celsius, and if we transfer some heat from the vapor, that is, if the piston cylinder system loses some heat, it does not condense into liquid water. So, such a vapor that is not about to condense into liquid is called as superheated vapor, and that is shown in the schematic diagram. So this entire process is shown here. State 1 consists of compressed or subcooled liquid, that is liquid water below 100 degrees Celsius. And in the state 2, the liquid water is heated to temperature up to 100 degrees Celsius, and any further addition of heat will lead to vaporization of liquid water into water vapor. And state 3 is an intermediate state during vaporization. It contains both water vapor and liquid water. State 4 represents the completion of vaporization of the liquid water, and any further heat removal from the piston cylinder system will lead to condensation of the water vapor. This entire constant pressure phase change process is illustrated on a TV diagram as shown below. So now that we have an understanding of how the phase change occurs in a pure substance, we can study the PVT characteristics in the next video. Thank you.